Hey, Eric, welcome to the show. As a way of getting started, give us a little background on yourself.
Thank you, Brian. Very happy to be here. I'm Eric Jan van Putten from the Netherlands. I've been in B2B marketing for approximately 10, 15 years and having a blast with what technology makes possible.
And how'd you get interested in marketing?
Whew, that's a good question. If I might be really honest, and I know it's going to sound cheesy,
Yeah,
it's actually my mother.
your mom.
My mother was in marketing, and that's the mean part maybe, but she is more of the less digital marketing type. So yeah, with my love of technology, moved into digital marketing, and here we are.
Yeah. And what do you like about it?
So many things. So one of the things I really love, because I also have an IT background,
Yeah,
IT education, that makes me really, I can understand technology quite easily. And in combination with B2B marketing and digital marketing these days, it's a fantastic combination. So applying technology combined with the right processes and technology and data strategy makes such cool things possible these days.
yeah. So your mom wasn't a digital marketer. She wasn't.
She was, by now, I would say old school, but brochures, events, employee engagements, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, even when I was a little bit younger, I was able to help with email marketing and the digital marketing, HTML and such things at that time. So
Yeah,
been a while.
yeah. Cool. And
Yeah.
where are you at now?
So I'm the VP of marketing at Dynamic Web. It's an international company ranging all over the world, really. 4,000 great customers, 300 partners, 200 colleagues I can work with. Truly a pleasure. And we are a cloud-based digital experience platform where we enable our customers to deliver better digital customer experiences and to scale e-commerce success through our solutions, being content management, e-commerce, digital marketing, and product information management.
And has the company already gone to market?
We are in the market. The company is 20 years going strong,
Oh,
going
good.
quite healthy. Yeah, no, it's truly a pleasure because a company that is able to transition from on-premise to fully cloud-based, including the SaaS play,
Yeah.
which is not easy, but they have managed to do this completely without investor and everything. So it's quite impressive.
And so if things were going so well, why do they need a great marketer like yourself?
Well, thank you. We can always go faster. It's well, it's true, right?
Yeah,
By applying the right kind of strategy, data strategy, and to get the foundation right, you can really then start adding kerosene to the fire to really
yeah,
go even faster. And we are now at that stage where the company is growing already a very healthy 20 to 40% a year, and now by applying the right focus on people, process, and technology, I believe we can continue to do quite well.
now you haven't been there that long, but what are you seeing, or what's your strategy?
What the strategy is, working quite closely with the C level, the
Yeah,
CEO, Christian Beard, we are focusing on a couple of elements. The main ones is, of course, demand generation.
yeah,
There's always room for more. Brand awareness, because in B2B we are too often focused on the product and the features, but we need to work on our brand awareness.
yeah.
So that's a big focus point. And then we have the other sides, structure and focus, and product marketing.
And
So
what's your
across those
passion?
four.
Is it demand gen or is it technology
Fun,
or?
fun question. I really like change management across people, process, technology. There's one book, the CMO Manifesto, red cover, by John Allett. Only wrote one book, but it's a heck of a book. And my passion in that is indeed demand generation, but focused demand generation, knowing exactly what works. Uh, then we can do all the nice acronyms, CPL, CLV, you name it. But yeah, it comes down to demand generation and helping to drive the company go faster.
Yeah. And who's your ideal customer profile?
It's a combination because to some degree you're looking at it. Marketers are our buyer persona, it's
Yeah.
our customer profile. But we also still work quite closely with product managers, the data side. And of course, the IT is still quite important.
Still involved.
Even though we are cloud based, IT is an important player.
Yeah. And marketers are always so easy to market too, aren't they?
Yeah, fun question. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think there is an element of
I was being a
showing
little
marketing. Yeah, but
facetious.
that's fun. No, but I like that one. But it's the ability
Mm,
to show what is possible.
yeah.
And there are so many things possible thanks to technology. Talk integration. You can take like a credit card in 5 minutes and you have your API or Zapier integrated.
Yeah.
Now, although that sounds fantastic, it is important to really have a data strategy because it becomes too easy to plug on more technology.
Right. Because I think if there's any department that's over technologized, it's kind of marketing right now.
Yeah, marketing, the whole sales and SDR, it's amazing what is possible these days. Scott Brinker actually showed recently on his presentation the different levels of buying and interacting.
Yeah.
That is human to robot, robot to human, and soon maybe actually robot to robot.
Yeah. Well,
It's an
I mean,
interesting view.
yeah, on the consumer side, I can see it, but on the
Yeah,
B2B
yeah.
side, right? Because,
I like that you're picking up on that one as well, because if I might
yeah,
add on that, I think the whole B2B side is still able to learn a lot from the B2C side. So many B2B companies, and then let's not take the hip and happening companies in B2B, but the ones that are a little bit more established. After you actually purchase the product of them, very often, what do you actually get from them? Probably the invoice. And that's it, right? You get a nice
or you get
invoice,
the
but
renewal.
where's the experience? You get the renewal, yeah, yeah, but where is the experience in that, right? It's so much opportunity to make
Yes.
that experience go and actually take it from a B2C level.
And that's it, because then you have to ask yourself, who owns that? Is it marketing? Is it sales? Is it customer success? It's the company, right? It's the,
Yeah, I would go with option C. It's the
see?
whole company. But it's the company. It is marketing and sales can get
Right.
people in the door. Sales gets a very good percentage through the door. But then after that, there is a role for both marketing, account manager, sales, customer success, services, you name it. It is truly something that is end to end.
Yeah. I was working with a consultant that works specifically on that to reduce churn,
Cool.
because you got customer acquisition costs and you got churn,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
why
yeah, yeah.
spend
No.
all that money, time, and effort to churn somebody or try and win somebody back? Because a, a deal and marketing and success all have momentum, or
Yeah,
don't, right?
I think that's a good point. I think that, of course, when you spend all that effort, strategy, endless meetings to get customers in the door, of course, you want to hold them as long as possible
Yeah.
because it's also a testimonial really to how good your company slash product is. So I fully agree that churn is a coming challenge more and more, certainly with the whole SaaS approach. Um, then also it depends a little bit, of course, on what kind of product you are. If you are in, let's call it a chatbot business, you can plug one in and enter the next one in a matter of 2 hours and again a credit card.
Yeah.
But if there's a whole strategy behind it, custom built elements to it, you name it, it's a different story. Then there is a certain level of investment required next to
Right.
the monthly fees.
Yeah. That's
So
it.
yeah,
If you've got data in it and it's integrated with other stuff, very hard to pull
yeah.
that out.
Yeah, and then that is goes almost back to that whole data story, right? Because
Yeah.
it's so easy to plug in new technologies that add extra data points, that automate some of the flow. But when you need to rip something out and apply something new, that is not the easiest. And as a colleague of mine actually frequently says as well, whenever a new head of, let's say, marketing arrives, new tooling arrives as well. But if that person at some moment leaves, the tooling usually stays,
Yeah. Yeah, because
and that builds up.
it does. And,
Yeah,
when I was selling, I always wanted to sell something that had that stickiness because,
it does make things sometimes easier.
well, the deals are so much bigger
Yes.
because you're
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
part
No,
of
I hear
their
you.
muffin. You're cooked into their enterprise. You can't pull the
That there
sugar
is a
out of the
certain element.
muffin.
That is, well, it becomes certainly in the industry I am and have been for a couple of years. Um, for the years I am in there, it is an industry that usually you have 3 to 5 years as a customer. And at that moment, the clock can start ticking. We actually recently, or actually we do check it regularly, but the recent numbers that we now have is actually we're quite lucky that our average lifetime spent of customers with us is actually 30-40% above industry standard. So that's, again, quite a good position to be in.
And what's the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part of my job. I would say that over the 10, 15 years I've been lucky enough to do this, that getting results out of the old channels in terms of awareness, but also demand generation, is not getting easier. Not only are these channels became harder. Well, take a look at LinkedIn, for example.
Yeah.
If you go back 5 to 10 years and you would spend, let's say, $50 on boosting a LinkedIn post, you would get what, 10,000 extra views? Burn that $50 today, you get like six, right? There's nothing left of that kind of stuff. And that goes for Google, that goes for even Facebook, that goes for so many channels in terms of performance. But at the same time, these channels also have become amazing what is possible these days. But you also need to start hiring experts to actually get them to work how you like them to work.
And pay
So
a lot
that
of
that that
money.
became harder.
Yeah.
Well, at one of the previous companies I was at, we would actually spend, let's say, in a certain region, 2,000 euros a month of Google, and we would spend another 1,500 on the agency doing it for us. That one of the things we changed rapidly, by the way, when I joined.
Well, that's one of the challenges of marketing is that, you know, if it doesn't work, it's really expensive. And you have to have that combination of knowing how to do it and caring like it's your own money
True that,
because
absolutely,
it's
fully
real
agree.
easy just to spend it. And then,
It is easy.
yeah, when you're
Sorry.
paying 30, 50, 100% over the cost for somebody to do it.
Yeah. Well, and that gets you maybe also as a more technical, let's say technical savvy marketer. It's also sometimes, is it worth the extra cost, or do we rather take the extra cost and burn it on the channel, knowing that it will be X% less good? Um, and that is also some things, because in marketing, we do love how things look, right? A good UI, fantastic, fantastic looking landing page, love it. The time you need to spend in getting sometimes these extra modules built, is that really, if that actually goes your conversion rate on that landing page from 5 to 6%, which is a 20% boost, but is it really worth the thousands of euros or bucks that you have to spend in getting that extra field up, that extra banner a little bit higher, you name it?
Yeah, or having
And
that
that's a tough
prettier
question.
design. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, today, I don't think it should be that tough of a question
There is
because,
plenty of data available. That there is, take some heat mapping, take a good look, see how it really performs, add an A/B test, add some data to make things easier on conversion.
yeah,
You're absolutely It is not that hard. Plus, technology has become easier to plug in a different design or to get something going. Yeah.
Yeah, because I work with a lot of marketers, and it's like, my pace is kind of a sales pace,
Hmm.
kind of amateur, but yet um, prolific. So if they say, "Oh, let's write a video," and it's like I'll send them 3 samples in 2 hours. I'll just go out for a walk and do it, and that they'll take it, and it'll take 3 weeks just to get me feedback. You know, I
Yeah.
go,
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I spoke to a certain journalist of a big platform recently about personalization. And as personalization is often seen as so hard and not really driving performance, which I disagree with. I think personalization, technology wise, really isn't hard. It's incredibly easy these days and very reachable with even almost the littlest of budgets. I've implemented technology that could actually do personalization based on behavior or IP based, which I'm also a fan of.
yeah,
The technical implementation took 90 minutes. The discussion on what the title, image, etc., needed to be took 3 months.
yeah, and I think that needs to change because when you run your own business, time doesn't slow or stop. It's
No,
constant.
no, no, no,
So
absolutely.
that 3 weeks, a day, a week is time that people aren't seeing it, aren't engaging with it, and you can't
Well,
get
and
that
that's a
back.
missed opportunity, right?
That's a miss.
Because not only are you offering exactly the same web experience to each web visitor, where you could have done better, at the same time you're already starting to pay to some degree the premium for the personalization engines,
Yeah,
and you're not making use of it. Plus, quite a bunch of meetings to decide on which image and which text needs to happen. So yeah, I am a big believer in start small, but do start. Learn very quickly and then improve along the way.
right. Yeah,
And it's really not that hard.
because you can always replace it, take it down, delete it.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. And you came highly recommended to the show. What do you think caused that?
I love marketing and I love talking about marketing. I
Yeah.
talk to so many ex colleagues, friends over the years. Someone needs an hour or 2 hours of help to talk about what do you think about this idea? What do you think about that idea? I love it.
Yeah.
Keeps your own mind fresh a little bit as well if you're talking to such different industries, ranging from hot desk places to equal rights consultancies to web agencies, etc. So I think because I'm very open to always take at least an hour a day to talk to people that want to talk marketing,
Yeah.
that I hope I get some goodwill out of that.
Cool. And what do you see out there in marketing that excites you the most
In marketing, in
in the B2B
I
space,
think
either in technology or approaches or
I think the B2B marketing is getting cooler. So much is already possible for so long, technology wise, but we're starting to accept the possibilities of what technology, but also messaging can really drive.
yeah.
No longer do you have to send that hi first name, which sometimes is referenced as personalization already.
First name. Yeah.
Officially, it counts, but come on, we can do better than that. And then it becomes about adding the creativity in combination with the technology,
Yeah.
and that is where it really gets exciting. Connect the right technologies to each other, so that you are able to automate but still offer quite a good experience from start to finish. And there are plenty of tools, solutions out there that can help with that, from personalization on their website to triggered e-commerce messages to personalized images even these days, right?
Yep.
And you can all daisy chain that almost to each other, that it becomes an automated engine. And that is quite exciting.
And do you see most CMOs in the B2B space just copying this 10-year-old playbook or their competition?
I do think that that market is changing as well. I think that having worked with very experienced, very good CMOs myself, that there is a new, let's call it almost a millennial CMO coming, that is quicker to the game. And the CMO market is also changing. If you read up on all that kind of stuff, in the past, and still, of course, it was quite often the story, the branding CMOs. And that is changing over the last couple of years and continue to change, is it becomes more data driven. So it's actually the marketing operations guys that get to level up, because technology and data and structure is becoming so important. It's these guys that are now able to come to the CMO level, as long as there are still CMOs, because even the title is under pressure.
Yeah. Because I've seen this, certainly in the last 5 years, what the shift should be from just the inbound convert somebody to a lead to we know who we want to sell to and who's most
Yeah.
likely to be interested and have the pain that we solve. How do we become visible to them and have them aware of the problem that we solve and interest and curiosity to try and do something about it?
Yeah. No, um, I feel that there's the reference to account based, but then done in true account
Well,
based approach.
more outbound marketing that isn't
Yeah.
just pay per click.
No.
That
No. It
yeah,
is about better. That's the beauty of these days, right? Because there is so much knowledge available. You need account data, call the Dun and Bradstreet guys. You want to have the people version of that, call Cognism, if I have that right, call these guys. And then we're even not saying the biggest CRM in the world, LinkedIn.
yeah,
They enable B2B organizations to really engage with the people that you want to engage with. Plus, if you're talking usually to the C suite by email or by phone, if you're also still there, which still has a place, by the way. I have nothing against cold calling. I am a believer of that as well, if it fits
the
the
domain.
industry.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I would say that you can bypass gatekeepers, because it's not often that the assistant of the C-level person is actually monitoring their LinkedIn as well. So it's a great channel to bypass some gatekeepers.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I had a student. We got a conversation started with the CEO of Delta Airlines on LinkedIn,
Here you go. On LinkedIn, you get the CEO, a guy that probably gets what, 1,000 emails a day.
and not one nice
Uh,
one.
I yeah, that would be also a challenging one.
Yeah,
And you can actually get that person via LinkedIn. But then also, if you're going in that route, please don't start, of
put a
course, with,
spam.
"Hi, I'm Eric. Do you have 15 minutes to talk?"
Right, do something for them.
Bring value first. I
Yeah.
know that that is a little bit of a dead term these days, but yeah, bring some value,
Well,
bring
well,
some cool asset,
right. Because people think value
ungated.
is yeah, their case study or their brochure, but it's more like,
Exactly.
yeah, something that
Yes.
you can do for them.
Well, yeah, drive that valuable asset. Some ROI calculator of the product
Yeah,
that you are able to do, or the pain that your product resolves, and then in that asset, that it's something that can be taken away immediately, regardless of technology behind it.
and if you were to hire a niche agency, what would you ideally like it to do for you?
I would go with an agency. If I go with an agency, I think I would actually quicker go with the right freelancers
Yeah,
these days, because it's quite easy to get the right people, slash potentially affordable, and maybe not the most popular thing, but you can offshore some of these things as well because there is quality to be gained wherever in the world people are. Um, that said, I think I would actually go with a boutique kind of, and I don't like this terminology, but growth marketing organization.
yeah,
Um, why growth marketing and why don't I like that term? Growth marketing really isn't new. It's just a new term
it's a new name.
put on. Yeah, it's a rename, a rebranding of what marketing for quite a long time has been doing, right? It's about testing really quickly, optimizing really quickly, uh, fail fast, learn fast kind of approach, and then combine that with the right technology. So, but I think I would go with a boutique growth marketing agency,
Yeah,
small one.
because I see too many people today still doing, kind of the inbound, 10, 15-year-old strategy, put up an ebook, have it gated, convert it, hound the person to death, and then blogs that are almost, clickbait, things that have nothing to do with what you sell or the customer's pain that you solve, but you just get them to convert. Or
Yeah,
they, and I
yeah,
see a lot of CMOs, instead of selling to the decision maker, the person who has the problem, they sell to somebody within that team just because there's more of them.
yeah. I see your point, and um, I'm going to be quite honest. The Dutch people are quite honest usually,
Are they?
because I don't think this might be the very popular belief. I do think there is still a place to gate a lot of content
Yeah.
in B2B marketing, um, in the world I am at, the vendor side. So I do believe that there is quite a place still for all that. But I also believe that with the technologies available today, you can not only recognize which company is on your website, and honestly, that technology is like 10 years old. It's like perfected
Right.
though, IP tracking.
Yeah.
It's valuable though. I think that if you do that kind of stuff, right? Because how many people in a company on your website who are not there to do a Sudoku puzzle are actually going to be I take that quote from a colleague of mine as well. How many people are really on your website, right? And how many people are in the purchasing decision for your product? It's going to be a couple of handful at best.
Yeah.
So
And gate something of high value.
yes,
Yeah. Not
fully
not
agree.
just a blog post or a white paper, but
No, no,
a,
no.
you know,
I think it needs to be high value.
yeah, a
It needs to be quality
substantial.
value. Yeah, yeah. I fully agree with that. There needs to be value behind it before you gate it. Then the second part is what you also referenced is you can try to go after the big honcho basically to try to get that person, or you go through his or her team. And that I also believe I believe that in the industry that you want to kind of have a both approach, right? You want to have the content available for the C level, but at the same time you also want to really go a little bit more top of funnel, cast the net out a little bit broader, and see who you can get in. Because then again, when there are enough touch points, when you get a certain threshold of an account, maybe not so much a content, but of an account,
Yeah.
in that case, you can actually have a salesperson, an SDR go after.
And how about like attribution? Because the hardest part of marketing is proving that you're doing something of value,
Yeah.
right? Because
Um, I've been amazed with that because I think that we also should not try to make it too hard. We of course
Right.
can talk fantastic stories about multi-touch, degrading, whatever, attribution models. And honestly, in theory, it's fantastic. It's really, really good. And for a lot of companies, it should be. But multi-touch attribution is not always the easiest. You can go first touch point, you can go last touch point. I'm not a fan of the latter. But yeah, go attribution model, certainly. And then tracking that. I had a call actually with an ex-colleague, a friend of mine actually, today on that as well, that he was also amazed by how many organizations still don't have a focus on tracking where stuff comes from.
Oh,
Um, and I don't believe that it's that hard. Have your website, talk to your CRM, introduce a simple UTM by Google, UTM structure, and you should be able to easily track exactly each touch point that someone has. You connect the touch points, you can call them activities, leads, but touch points. You connect them to the contact, so you get that full 360 view of someone, of their web visits, of their downloads, of their phone calls SDR has made. You get that full view, and you do the same touch points. You actually transfer all of them as well on the account level, and from there it's a relatively small walk to opportunities.
Uh, I mean, that is helpful, but in B2B, it gets squirrely or more difficult. I'll use a straight
Okay.
English statement because, okay, you have a contractor on site, or you have a
Hmm.
virtual assistant who's assigned to do it,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Or it's word of mouth,
Yeah,
and no one touches the website ever. Or see,
fun points. True. You won't capture 100%,
right?
and
And
I think that's okay.
it, it's the truth, whether we like it or not.
True. Yeah,
And,
fully agree. In marketing, of course, we almost everything really becomes trackable, and then some things that are not trackable to value. Some people slash marketing also decided that there is value to be measured there as well. But then we really are making up our own metrics. Um, well, I bought a certain social media solution recently, or bought, rented, and then you get like the social media earned value. I don't know. I'm a little bit there. Yeah, these are the vanity metrics that sometimes makes exactly what you're sharing give marketing not the best name.
right.
We need to talk the real numbers. We need to talk the business
Yeah.
numbers.
And, and even then they may not remember, it's like, what made you buy your car that you have? Was can you trace it back to an ad or
No,
meeting with
no,
friends?
I'm Dutch, so I'm very cheap. So I bought a very small car.
Yeah. But those things are just challenges because there's challenges in tracing it and then there's challenges explaining it up the org,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
like
Fully
like like
agree.
if you did this podcast and it generated revenue for you, right? How do you justify that to your executives? They're like, well, where's the cookie or where's the pixel?
True. No,
Yeah.
no. And that is it, right? Because one of the pillars that I'm also focusing on is that brand awareness.
Yeah.
Going into the right podcasts, the right video interviews myself, but also pushing my colleagues, the VP of sales, our C level, our full C suite actually, to do these kind of talks. It is going to resonate because it's sometimes the simplest example. Quite often, many companies that have started with marketing, let's say they start with blogging. And what do they do with these blogs? They usually put it on their own website, and then on LinkedIn, that's basically like, hey, I wrote a blog, please check it out. Not a bad start per se, but how about we take that piece of content and we figure out where we can actually shoot it into the world,
Yeah.
get our brand awareness, try to get some SEO juice out of it, but that's already a really nice to have, right? Just make sure you get your name out there.
Yeah, because I tell all right, ask CMOs, how many executives does your SDR team have a half-hour conversation with per year?
That would be a half an hour. That would be a low number, I suspect.
It's usually less than 2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
you get 10 of them. You're paying them a lot of money, right? If you could do that in 30 minutes for free?
yeah, yeah. No, true. But I think it's a fair point. But let's say an SDR talks slightly different topics than what you might be pushing on a podcast.
Right. But that first conversation really isn't to convince them to the product, it's to get to know you.
Yeah. Show the company, show the people behind the company
Yeah,
who make the company,
right. Talk about the problem.
and that drives. Yeah, fully agree.
Brand awareness.
It's an important element. It's well, it also the more brand awareness value you have, it just goes so far on so many elements. Your conversion rates actually go up. It becomes easier to
Yes.
convert on a company you know than doesn't. Your sales performance goes up a couple of ticks. Heck, hiring becomes easier if at least you're a positive
Everything
brand
does.
awareness.
Right. Because
Everything becomes better with positive brand awareness.
hey, this has been a
Absolutely.
fun conversation. Where can people go to connect with you and learn more about your company?
Well, with me, certainly find me on LinkedIn, not that hard. And the company would be dynamicweb.com. So please check it out, where we're absolutely going to have some fun there.